Making millions of dollars is actually very easy, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Now, let's backtrack. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about myself and why I'm credible to talk about this, and I'm going to show you exactly what I do in my business with some real numbers and what you can do in order to achieve the same exact results, if not better, doing the same exact business model, same exact framework. I'm just going to give all of this to you in this video. So, first things first, just some background on myself. I've done just a little bit under $10 million in sales online in the past couple years. And currently, we're actually pacing right under 700,000 a month. So that tells you that we're going to cross that 10 million very soon. And then hopefully we're going to be at a million a month very, very soon as well. Now, the whole point of me showing you these numbers is not to gloat or anything like that. Everybody that already follows me already knows about these numbers. So it's not like any new news. The reason I show you is just so you understand that I actually gain absolutely nothing from telling you this, okay? So I'm really telling you this because I want to give back to the community. This is literally what I'm doing now. Because my business is fully automated, I'm really not required to be there. This is my next passion project. YouTube is going to be the next thing that I, in a sense, like take over, because I want to be able to provide a ton of value and I want you guys to win at the same time, okay? So the business model is very simple. If you've looked into online business models, you've probably heard of this. You've probably just heard of it being done the wrong way by the wrong people that don't actually run that business model, okay? So I follow a social media marketing agency style framework where there's a business owner, they pay you a dollar amount to solve their pain, you generate them more revenue, and that cycle goes on and on and on, okay? If you don't know much about this business model, then that's totally fine. Don't worry about it. We're going to break it down in some more future videos. But point is, it gets interesting when you have a ton of them. It gets interesting when you have 10, 20, 30 clients. I currently have about 125 clients active on a monthly recurring basis, okay? So imagine there's 125 individuals that every single month are taking money out of their pocket to pay my company to provide this service. That means even if you get 2, 3, or 5 people to give you $2,000 a month, it can be life-changing for someone who's still trying to learn how to make their first 100K or their first million, okay? One thing that I want to debunk before we get into this further is a lot of people say that social media marketing is dead or this business model is dead. Listen, I'll be real with you. This business model has been around since the 1900s. Nobody watching this video was around in the 1900s. So if this business model outsurvived you, then I'm sorry to say it's probably going to outsurvive you in the other direction as well. Okay, so like it's going to be here even after we're gone. It's just going to be a different version of that model. Okay, like in the 1900s is when people started to broker getting businesses in newspapers. Okay, in 2000s is when the internet came about, and now that was the digital shift, right? Like right now, getting in a newspaper is probably not at the top priority list of every single business owner, but getting a Facebook page and an Instagram page probably is. And that's exactly to show you that marketing is always going to exist. What you do with the marketing, that's what changes. And that's the problem, is most of you watching this video simply only listen to your favorite YouTubers that are content creators, are not actually business owners, and simply pre-assume whatever they say is true. When, to be honest with you, it's not possible for me to make $700,000 a month if this business model was dead, okay? So it's very much so alive, it's very much so well, and it's very much so going to be here even after I'm gone, okay? So in 2024, I curated the agency blueprints, my method of doing business. It's very unique. I used to be just like you guys, watching a ton of YouTube videos and really never getting the answers that I needed. So I went ahead and I built my own business the way I saw fit. And it worked, so that's exactly why I'm bringing you the information that actually worked for me. The expected growth on average, a social media marketing service costs around $2,000. There's good services, there's bad services. We're gonna dive into all of that. But on average, it's around $2,000. So if you wanna figure out how much you wanna make $20,000 a month, cool, you need 10 people. You wanna make $50,000 a month, cool, you need this many people. You wanna make 60,000, you can do the math on that. It's not my job to tell you how much you need to make, but make sure that when you find that number, have a why. Why do you want to make that amount? I want to make 10K a month. Okay, why? To cover my expenses. Okay, why do you want to cover your expenses? I don't want to be homeless. Okay, why do you not want to be homeless? And then when you dive deeper, you'll understand the point of making money is a lot deeper than simply, I want to pay my expenses, or I want to buy this nice car, or I want to buy this thing. Okay, so like if your why is strong, which we're going to dive into my why here very shortly, you're going to realize that your why is going to dictate whether or not you become successful. It's not the business model. I promise you, if I'm able to do $700,000 a month with this model and you can't make $5,000 a month, I'll tell you, the model is not the problem, it's you, okay? And the problem, most YouTubers are not going to tell you this, is because they're actually content creators and they just want you to love them. I really don't care whether or not you like or not like me. I'm just gonna tell it to you how it is because that's what worked for me, okay? And the reason I have 100% success rate with my personal students is because I tell it to them straight up. I either tell them that either they're being lazy or they're not doing enough or they're not doing the right thing. I will tell you straight up how it is, and that's the beauty of working with me. And that's exactly why you guys are actually gonna get value out of this video versus someone that's gonna sit down and basically tell you how amazing you are when really you suck at business, okay? So if you want to figure out how much you want to make, do this calculation, super simple. The truth is, I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my story, okay? Now I told you where I'm at now. I'm going to tell you a little bit where I was. I actually never wanted to be a business owner. I'll be honest with you. I never wanted this. I actually wanted to be a physician. I wanted to be a doctor, okay? So I went to school for pre-med. Unlike other people that like dropped out or whatever, I didn't drop out, okay? I finished my pre-medical degree. I actually wanted to be a doctor, but because I was in such a financial constraint, okay, like pretty much all my credit cards were maxed out on failed business models because I followed the advice of bullshit YouTubers that didn't actually pan out, okay? So I tried dropshipping, I tried all those business models. They never worked out, but I realized that the model is not the problem, it was me that was the problem, okay? But when all my credit cards were maxed out, my rent was due in about 7 to 10 days. I had no option but to sell something because I literally applied to over 600 jobs and I didn't get a single interview. Not a single interview. Over 600 applications, so total fail on that. But regardless, I sat down on my girlfriend's couch at the time and I was like, babe, I love you, but for the next 7 days, I literally cannot talk to you. Like I'm literally dialing businesses 24/7. That's exactly what I did. I went on Google, I typed in businesses near me, and I started to call every single business because I was like, the one thing I know how to do is run paid advertising because I learned that from running paid ads for my dropshipping stores, but they all failed. So regardless, nobody knew that my stores failed, but I knew how to run the ads. So that's exactly what I did. I kept reaching out to the business owners. The story gets a little bit deeper. It gets a little bit crazier. But to summarize, one individual picked up the phone, said, I spent $100,000 a month on Facebook. What do you know that I don't? And yeah, it's a really good question because I had never seen $100,000 at the time. And I challenged him. I gave him an answer that probably if he knew anything about marketing, he would have ignored. But point is, he invited me over to his business and I ended up converting that guy into my first client. I didn't know anything about what I was doing. It was completely by, I would say, luck. I would say it was luck because I didn't know what I was doing, but I did enough to put me in a position to get lucky, okay? And I'm gonna show you guys how to manufacture your own luck here as well. So, point is, after all of that happened, I decided, okay, this is the first time I made money without losing money, so I'm gonna grow this business. And this was 5 years ago as of around this time. And I've been doing this ever since. And obviously you guys can see the numbers that we're generating right now, doing pretty much the exact same thing, just a little bit different because obviously I improve in every single fashion. So this is the quote that I want you guys all to know, okay? So if you're not making 10K a month, you're not a 10K a month person, right? You have to be the person and then make the amount that you want to make, right? Like you're not going to want to be jacked, get jacked, and then start going to the gym. It's just never going to happen that way. Right? Same concept applies with business. You're going to have to be a good business owner before you make any money, right? You need to operate like someone that makes money before you ever make any money. And so how do you do something like that, right? And it's really simple because it does come down to you and how much you improve. I think that it's super simple. All you have to do is wake up every day and your goal is to win that day. If you win the day and overall, if you grade yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, if you got more than a 5, okay, you won the day. But you need to actually grade yourself. So for example, if you reached the amount of people that you wanted to talk to that day, then that's a 1. And you have to do 9 other things to actually get a 10 out of 10 on that day. And that's exactly it. It's not an emotional thing. It's not like oh, I tried hard today. Bro, nobody cares if you tried hard, right? Think about it like this. Even if I didn't try hard at all, okay, but I have 10 people working for me and all 10 of them worked hard, I technically worked harder than you 10 times, right? Over 10 days, even though I didn't do anything. So like, you need to always think about that there is someone ahead of you that is so far ahead of you that even if they did nothing, They are that much ahead of you still. So you need to work your ass off. This is literally not a negotiable, right? And you need to become $1 million individual. You need to speak like $1 million individual. You need to move like $1 million individual. You need to sell like $1 million individual. You want people to want to transact with you because of how fucking amazing you are. That's really how the business model works, okay? And that's the part that I think most business owners or most startup entrepreneurs get stuck up on, because they are simply not $1 million person, but they want to make $1 million, okay? Keep in mind, if you haven't made it, you're not that guy, okay? You're not that guy. So keep improving yourself until you get to that point, and then the money will come. It's inevitable, right? The next part I'm going to tell you guys is step by step what I would do if I were to start off at zero again. So first things first, I would select a service I can provide, okay? There is many ways to make money, but the big two are either products or services, okay? I like services better. I don't like dealing with product costs. I don't like dealing with shipping. I don't like dealing with problems with product quality, all that stuff. That's just not my style of business, okay? I will never sell a product, okay? And that's why I like doing services. And these are some services that I would recommend for you to look into. What I would do is I would do any one of the paid advertising methods. The reason that is because it's a sticky service. What a sticky service means is that it's a service that people will require time and time again, and they can't stop requiring it. Make sense? So like, for example, public relations. Let's say you got someone featured on Forbes or whatever it may be. After they get featured on Forbes, how many more times can they get featured on Forbes before it dies out, okay? Before it like no longer has the same effect. That's the difference with paid ads. Paid ads, you can always run it, and the business will always need more leads. The business will always need to grow. And that's why I like that service. But at the end of the day, I just want to show you guys these services. At the end of the day, you can do whichever one you want. As long as you do it at the highest level possible, you will get compensated accordingly. This is the part where it's a little different between what I teach and what everybody else on the internet is teaching that doesn't actually run a business, okay? So this is what real business owners would do, okay? So I would create a Dream 100, okay? There is multiple versions explaining what that concept means. What this concept means to me is 100 businesses that we can become your client. All you have to do is reach out to them enough times, okay? This is what I would do. I'll pull up a spreadsheet. I'll call it Dream 100. I'd have the business name, the business website, 3 links about the business, and then touch points, like how many times I've reached out to them. A phone call is a touch point. A text message is a touch point. An email is a touch point. Showing up in there in person is a touch point. All of these things are touch points, okay? Sending them an Instagram DM, that's a touch point. And the thing is most people think that, oh, I'm just going to call the business once and they're going to just give me an appointment. No, that will never happen. And the only time that ever happens is if, one, you're super lucky and you hit the business owner at the right place at the right time and they were available. That's unlikely, okay? And number 2, if someone came to you as a referral, like someone recommended you, okay? Which nobody has currently recommended you, hence why you're watching this video, okay? So point is, I want you guys to fill this out with 100 businesses, preferably local to you, that you can help, that sell a high ticket item or service, okay? So like you are gonna sell high ticket to someone who sells high ticket, because if you are both selling high ticket, it only takes a few transactions for everybody to be happy, okay? So if your client is selling a $5,000 thing and they sold one of them, they're cool with paying you $2,000, right? But if they're selling something that's $50, even if they sell 10 of them, they're not going to be happy, because then they would have lost money, okay? So point is, find 100 businesses that sell a high ticket thing near you, and I want you guys to reach out to them. On average, my team, okay, converts a client into a booked appointment on the 7th or 8th touch point. That's on average, okay? So if you're reaching out to someone 3 times, I mean, you might as well not reach out at all. So why are you wasting your time reaching out if you're only going to reach out 2-3 times? Cool? And that's the concept that gets a lot of people upset. It's that, oh, your business is not working because you're working too little, or you're not working enough, or you're not doing the right thing enough times. That's the truth. It's simply the case, okay? So if you want to actually succeed with this, make sure that you reach out a minimum of 10 to 15 times. That's what I do, okay? But again, if you don't want to take my advice for it and you want to do your method that's working so well, then keep doing that, okay? The next part is the sales structure. This is what I think, this as combined with the last part is the reason that this model works so well. is that this is the sales structure, okay? Imagine this is your Dream 100, okay? You reach out to them using a script, which I'm not going to give you the script, okay? You're not part of my community, but you can come up with your own. This part is not like impossible to do. You can come up with a really good script without the help of anybody, okay? The next part you want to do, you want to book the appointment. And then the part that comes right after is you want to sell, right? You want to have a conversation with the client and actually see if you can help them. If you can't help them, don't sell people that you cannot help, okay? And the last part, which is the nicest part, is getting paid, okay? So I'm going to walk you guys through the one call close technique. So I close everybody on the first call, majority of the time. I would say 95% of the time, okay? And that's because a one call close technique for your price point, for your size, is what you need to do. If you're doing sub $1 million a year, then you're not at a position to go after businesses that require 3, 4, 5 meetings, a legal team, XYZ, okay? You eat what you kill, and you can kill on the first call. If you want to take 2, 3 calls, you're likely going to extend how long it takes for you to make that million by so much, because I know people say like money is made in the follow-up. Not in this industry, dude. In this industry, either you converted or you didn't convert. Yes, some people will move forward later, but it's much more rare, okay? Now, I'm not going to actually give you guys the exact one call close technique because quite honestly, you didn't honestly earn it yet, right? So you're simply watching a YouTube video. I want action takers that are actually going to get access to this type of sauce. So if you want the one call close technique, just DM me on Instagram, say one call close technique, and I'll shoot it over to you. And that's really it, right? It's a document. I'll send it to you. I think it's like 16 pages. You can read through it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the one call close technique. It is a version of spin selling that we personally came up with because that is what caused us to convert the deals, okay? So like I personally close about 40% of the meetings I take. I personally don't take many meetings right now because my team does the meetings. But regardless, when I was in the business still, when we were much smaller, when I was doing about 150, 170K a month, I was closing about 40% of my meetings using this technique, okay? The last part, which is the part that if you're doing sub $1 million a year, you clearly don't understand, is objection handling, okay? Objection handling, and I'm going to put a list of objections here on the screen just so you guys can screenshot and save them and actually work on them. The whole point of this is not for me to give you the answers, okay? The whole point of this is me to tell you a little bit of what the answer is, but for you to kind of figure it out yourself, because that's the only way that it will work. So I gave you guys a couple objections here on the screen. So make sure to go through every single one of them and write at least 3 responses, okay? If you want an exercise that I did when I was first starting out that will actually help you, but again, lazy people will not do this. So if you are not lazy, do this because it will genuinely make you a lot more money, okay? Write 1 response to every single one of these objections and then wait 1 week, okay? And then come back to this list and write a better one. And then do it again for the 3rd time. On your 3rd or 4th time, your answers are going to be pretty solid, okay? Your answers are going to be pretty solid because now you would have had at least 1 week to try it out, and then you would have had 1 week to think of a better response, okay? Most people that are in the agency space or in the marketing space or in the service business space, they want to sell without any objections coming up. Unfortunately for you, that's not going to happen, okay? You're not credible enough to get a sale without any objections. So you need to learn how to handle objections, whether it's financial objections, service objections, are you the right fit for me objections, like is your business legit objections, right? So all of these things are part of the process. So if you go into the war thinking that you're going to have a peace treaty, okay, and you bring no weapons, you're likely going to lose that war, right? So be prepared to go to war when you're on a sales call. You need your ammunition, you need your arsenal, and your arsenal is up here, okay? What you know about how to handle someone's emotions, what you know about how to handle someone's logical way of thinking, what you know about getting someone to tell you truly why they don't want to work with you, and handling that objection so that they do work with you, okay? It's really that simple. That's pretty much it for this video. Obviously, I'm going to dive a lot deeper in future videos, but I just wanted to honestly try out my new setup that I just got. We just moved into a $5 million house, and the whole purpose is to get you tons of content. The whole purpose is to film a lot of cool podcasts with a lot of cool people. So if you're interested in something like this, then subscribe and stick around. And if you want to kind of follow along and see things at a little bit more of a personal level, then make sure to follow me on IG. And like I said, the me one call close technique, I'll shoot it over. But again, this video is not meant for the lazy. So if you're not going to shoot it over, then it is what it is. You're not going to get the value. But at the end of the day, if you got to this part of the video, I am guessing that you are likely an action taker. So go ahead and do that, and I'll see you guys on the next one.